Doctor, I think I've done attracted all the women in the world, but I think I'm ready to settle down.
Oh, I see. You would like to get a vasectomy.
No, I'm not ready to give up my fertility yet. I just want to hinder it. I feel like my sperm, it just seems to be really potent.
Alright, let's see if you have anything weird going on with your body. Come on in. So, why do you exactly want to hold back your load's potency?
Well, Doc, I've had kids with many women, and like I said, I'm ready to settle down. Sadly, I didn't get to keep those kids. After all those years in the Vietnam War, I'm not really mentally prepared from what they told me, but I feel like if we could find out exactly why I, sound this way, and exactly why every time I have sex, kids pop out, maybe we could solve all my life's problems.
Oh, yeah? Well, what makes you wanna, start a real family this time?
Well, after watching this anime called Hinamatsuri, I decided, maybe I could settle down with one of kids like that. Not a show like that has come to my mind as, something that wholesome. Something that actually makes kids, something that makes me not want to strangle kids. If I do end up having 3 kids, I would model them off them Hina, Anzu, and Hitomi. At first, they may seem one note when you watch the show, but it is a little off-putting sometimes, as many of people's distaste when it comes to moe blobs stem from the fact that characters tend to be one note, but with this show, patience gives a pretty mighty reward for those who stay, as jokes are called upon, and jokes aren't just one-off, they build character. Something that, most people who would decry slice of life shows usually, decry about. Not only this aspect make Hinamatsuri, feel special, but it also builds up on the comedic timing. It has excellent comedic timing. And what I'm saying is that Hinamatsuri builds up the events with characters reacting within the role. But like any good comedy, it will subvert your expectations. Not just to give you a good hearty laugh, but to give characters something to progress to. So, sounds interesting. How are the kids like? Well, the kids, Hina is a smartass who spouts one-liners. In the end, her naivete becomes more charming, and it becomes apparent that she does indeed care for the community that she was just kind of randomly sent to. She's kind of bratty, but I feel like, her naivete really plays up to it. Now, Anzu is, she's a sweetheart. At first I thought she was gonna be a tsundere, but it turns out she's a very well-behaved lass. I quite like her, but I must say, Hitomi might be my favorite. She's a hard worker and what a wholesome character. Her one flaw is the fact that she lacks the spine when it comes to saying no, but really looking back at it, her character says a lot about the anime, as he told me his character comes from somebody who is just a typical do-gooder. She gets hooked into Hina's messing around, and next thing you know, she becomes a adult bartender out of nowhere because she wanted to help Otako. She's this bitch who is probably the worst girl in the show. But anyways, after that arc, the same logic continues into her next skit as she becomes really well at bartending. She becomes really good at bartending. Her homeroom teacher shows up with the principal. Now the suspicions arise as the homeroom teacher realizes that, holy crap, that bartender kind of looks like one of my students. But because of how good, she does, the anime plays up to her past character trait of being a good bartender from the last skit. It ends up saving her ass, and next thing you know, the homeroom teacher becomes a side character for her, as now he is a regular patron because she's so damn good. Well, what they tend to do is they try to establish character from, what they already have to work with. And they have that interact with an event that some silly, almost, fuck, what do you call that? And then they use past characterization with some silly event. Then, as the character interacts with the event some more, character-driven comedy ensues, and then, it subverts your expectation, unlikely result happens, and then the event concludes with characters basically getting something out of it, learning or earning something, like a new trait, skill, more characters. We get to know more side characters, quip, or whatever. And sure, I oversimplified it here, but I feel like this formulaic simplicity and solid comedic writing helped propel this anime into at least somewhere in the top 10s of 2018. Outside of the three main girls, the surrounding characters also do a lot of heavy lifting, as not only do their actions progress the skits along, but, oh yeah, that's right. They also are very important when it comes to the arcs of the main girls. When it comes to what the main girls end up doing. In the end, these simple interactions, the simple logic actually makes it feel like a community. It makes everybody's personalities shine more, and they're also in the end it feels like a community of caring folks who want nothing but to find happiness in what's given to them. Until life does what life does best and take away that satisfaction, leaving you learning or earning a new trait, skill, quip, or whatever. Interesting. Anyways, good news. You, sir, are perfectly normal. But the bad news is, you are very well endowed. What do you mean? By that I mean you have 4, or normal men have 2. But I think this is what gives you your maximum fertility, if I were to say so myself. Now I can arrange a surgery 2 months from now, and that makes me a busy surgeon, but if you would like to take a later date, you would have to wait a good while. Well, if you think this is what will work, then yeah, I'll take my chances, Doc. I just want a regular voice so I could finally talk to my wife, Meredith Zizek, and, keep my kids happy. Doc, it's me. It's been a good while since our last meeting, but I'm needing that surgery undone. I haven't been feeling too well lately. I've been sick at least 4 times every week, and I feel so weak sometimes that I could barely even stand up. I'm surprised I could even, get myself here, to be honest, but I'd have to thank my lovely wife for that. Well, speaking of what my wife and I have been doing,
Our first kid seemed to be growing up well, and I'm glad that I can talk to him, but I can't work. I can't support my family like this, Doc. If one thing Hinamatsuri teach me, it's that families are important to growing up children. I may not be able to talk to my kids normally, and my wife, but I've decided that my strength is important into, getting a job, important to, support my family overall. Even if I sound like a dying dog, or, my wife is weird since she's a foreigner, you can assume from her name. Like, even though I sound like a dying dog and my wife is a foreigner, a family of people with good intentions, no matter what size, shape, race, gender, or whatever disposition, is better than the ones that, just fit the traditional mold. And that's where I went wrong, Doc. I felt like, with the condition I had, I thought I wasn't going to be able to support my family well and wouldn't look good for my family. But now I'm thinking, oh God, I need to really check what's important, see what's in front of me, and say, hey, my family is important, and if it takes for my voice to be back into where it was, it takes for my voice to sound like a dying dog, I want my second setback, Doctor.
Well, I'm afraid we can't do that.
Of your love's like the warmth from the sun, and this will be our year. Took a long time to come. Don't let go of my hand now, the darkness has gone. This will be our year. Took a long time to come, and I won't forget the way you held me up when I was down, and I won't forget the way you said, darling, I love you. You gave me faith to go on. Now we're there, and we've only just begun. This will be our